Welcome to this episode of Dynamics Connections, and thank you for joining again. I'm excited we have Mike Leahy, who's the president of Leahy Consulting. And Leahy Consulting has an extensive background of helping manufacturers and distributors implement and fine-tune their ERP systems. And they're also the developers of Pulse Dashboards, which is an analytics and reporting software for Dynamics GP. They develop Pulse dashboards for manufacturers and distributors to help them improve operations in every department. And with the supply chain changes that are going on right now, costs going up, lead times constantly changing, and uncertainty increasing, a lot of businesses need those tools to give them that real-time information to make better and faster decisions. So please join me in welcoming Mike. So welcome to this episode of ISV Talks. And on this episode, I have Mike Leahy, who's the president of Leahy Consulting and the designer of Pulse Dashboard. So welcome, Mike.
Hi, Carol. Thanks for having us here. This is wonderful to be here today. Thank you.
Super. Well, do you want to do an introduction of yourself and maybe tell a little bit about your company and how it got started?
Yes, I'd love to. We have been in business for 40 years. I started off, before I formed this company, I was a consulting manager at Price Waterhouse, and we've evolved into being ERP experts. So the thing that sticks in my mind is that when we started the company and way back, even before that, it was a promise of the industry to allow users to get to their own data. And that promise never was fulfilled, we think, until recently. The idea being that the users, they spend a lot of time keying in their data and they expect to be able to get that data back again. So about 12 years ago, we developed this product called Pulse Dashboard and reporting software, Pulse Dashboard and analytics software. And the idea was to meet that promise of allowing users to get to their own data. And part of that promise is getting them to get to their own data in the way that they want. So in the old days, you would develop a report and you would drive to that customer and you'd give them the report. And then the next day, or even 5 minutes later, they say, no, I want to switch these columns around, or I want to sort it in a different way, or I want to exclude certain things, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. And it was an endless going back and forth to make these changes to the reports. So our goal 12 years ago with our Pulse Dashboard software was to create a piece of software where the users, first of all, could have the data instantly, not go through arduous weeks or months of testing and development, but to be able to install the software in 2 hours and be using it at the end of the 2 hours with their data from their server. So the idea being also then that the users could make changes to their reports, sort it down a different way, filter this in, filter it out, add new columns, delete columns, change it around to their unique way. And we felt that that was our goal, and we have met our goal. In other words, this is not another do-it-yourself product. There's a lot of excellent reporting software platforms out there, but most of them require extensive amount of technical knowledge. They require programming or development and testing. So again, our software is real time. It sits right on top of the GP database, and in 2 hours, you're ready to go. I guess the other part about our company is we are based in Cincinnati, Ohio. We have a staff of 17, and this is our 40th year in business.
That's amazing. Well, so you kind of described your companion products. What ERPs do you work with?
Well, we developed Pulse Dashboard 12 years ago for the Macola ERP marketplace. And then more recently, we have converted that to be able to work with the Microsoft GP database. We're in the process of converting it to the Acumatica database.
Okay, so basically, who are the folks that would be your target buyer for this product? Like, what industries would find value in using this product?
Well, we focus on manufacturing and distribution.
Okay.
That is the most complex of businesses. They can't operate on the back of a pad of paper anymore. They have extensive amount of supply chain issues. They have extensive amount of bills of material, the fast pace. So we focus on manufacturers and distributors who want to better control their supply chain. That is, they want to have better inventory control. They want to have better visibility of shortages that are preventing them from shipping on time or manufacturing on time.
Such a need these days in the supply chain, right? To have good, accurate reporting so you can make decisions quickly.
Yes, yes.
How did you guys get into this business? Are you experts in manufacturing, and how did you decide what report solutions to incorporate?
Well, yes, we are ERP software experts. The concept of ERP, enterprise resource planning, is identical whether you're using Peachtree or whether you're using SAP or Macola or Dynamics. The concepts are all the same.
So in what way do you think your solutions help clients and with their particular problems?
Well, what we've done with Dashboard is we have a section in the software for each department, for the executive department, for sales and marketing, for purchasing, for supply chain, for sales analysis, financial control. And within each one of those areas, we have built-in reports. So taking this experience we had with thousands of crystal reports, we had very, very good ideas as to what people wanted for reports. So we started off with, a set of reports 12 years ago to allow them to see their data, to analyze things. And of course, at that time, jokingly, we thought we knew everything. And in the end, we really know nothing. That over the past 12 years, all that's been redone. Our product is all based on customer feedback. So a customer will say, well, this is really great, but can we do something more? This is really nice, but I need a report that does such and such. We've had focus groups, for example, to get a better idea of what people are looking for. So it's evolved, and it's a continuous journey, just like our customers are on a never-ending journey of operational improvement. Our software is the same way. So businesses are ever changing. One of the areas that we stress with our customers is being ready. Okay, so what does being ready mean? Well, I'll give you an example. People that come to us and say, I'm getting killed, I don't have enough material, I don't know what my lead times are, I don't have a way of pinpointing shortages, my dates for shipping are all wrong. That's a sign of not being ready. So what we're trying to do is to help people be ready, and ready can be to handle the current situation, the current crises that are going on in the marketplace, or anything that might be in the future. Is being ready to, let's say your company is thinking about acquiring and you're going to change your sales significantly. It's being ready for that transition. I'll give you an example of one, a manufacturing company that we work with. We had worked with them for many, many years, like over 10 years. They're a leader in their industry, but due to an acquisition, one day their sales doubled and they weren't ready. They didn't know lead times. They didn't have good bills of material. They didn't have a way of pinpointing shortages. And those shortages can be at the customer level. Customer places an order. Am I going to have it available by the time that they want it or not? Or I'm in the process of manufacturing and I have shortages that are going to prevent me from completing a production order on time. They didn't have their arms around any of this. They didn't know what their lead times were, and they didn't have good software. So working with them, we've come in, educated them as ERP experts as to what they needed to do, help them clean up their data, and now they're just becoming on the positive side of being in control.
So it sounds like if the data is rough and it needs some, I guess, cleanup, how do you help them identify those areas and get those data points corrected?
Oh, very good question. We have analysis reports in Dashboard that pinpoint on units of measure that may be out of whack, or lead times, or like we have a program that analyzes delivery lead times for purchase orders, say over the past 6 months, and you're able to compare those lead times, those days, to what is in the GP database. So for example, if history is saying this is a 45-day lead time, and in GP you have it down as a 15-day lead time, well, then you're not going to be successful. You're going to be issuing purchase orders too late, and you're not going to get them in on time. So we have a tremendous amount of analysis reports that pinpoint areas that need to be cleaned up. A lot of times people never even populated the lead time field, and now those are blank and they have to be populated.
Yeah, so much of the time they don't think about it when they're implementing, so they kind of get the basics up and running so they can ship orders, and the next thing you know, they're trying to, grapple with, okay, why am I not being able to ship on time? Well, I don't have the product. Well, why don't you have the product? Well, I haven't ordered it yet. It's not here on time. So yeah, it goes back to the data.
Yeah, so for example, in our analysis reports, we'll show you shortages, and we'll show you, we've developed our own MRP software within dashboards. So it'll show you, for example, that you have these 45 components that are preventing you from manufacturing on time. And then you'll look down there and you'll see, well, maybe a third of them don't even have a purchase order outstanding. So that shortage is never going to go away because you don't have a replenishment scheduled. And the same thing applies to distributors. They have similar issues. It's all supply chain oriented.
What challenges are you seeing that companies are facing, especially coming back from COVID-19 and lockdowns? So what challenges have you seen, and how are customers facing those challenges, and how have you helped with overcoming those?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Part of what has happened is I'll take COVID first, and then we'll go to post-COVID. When people are asked to work at home, first of all, companies weren't ready. They may have had a VPN, they may have had remote dial-up, but that was for 3 or 4 people to dial in overnight or in the evenings. Now they had 100 people dialing in, so they had to get their infrastructure ready. But next was that since you're not in the office, you don't have all this, you don't have all your paper files, so you need a system like Dashboard to allow you to see the current status of everything going on for your job. Okay, so then people came back to the office. Well, at that point, what was introduced were these supply chain issues that are now worldwide. So people needed the ability to get a handle on their supply chain, figure out what especially knowing what their lead times are. So post-COVID I guess what I'm pointing out is that companies are on a journey and businesses on a journey. It's a journey of never-ending changes, and it's a matter of being ready along the way. When COVID hit, were people ready to do work at home? Now that they're back in the office, are they ready to handle supply chain disruptions? And those supply chain disruptions, this is the new norm. This is not like this temporary situation. The Ukrainian war, if that ends tomorrow, that is not going to eliminate worldwide supply chain issues. That may not go away for several years, or it may not go away ever, because as companies are growing, that's going to tax the supply chain issues even more. So it's a constant being ready is what we're promoting to our customers, having the information that they need. And all companies are on a journey. And some people that we work with, will point out all these shortages, will point out that they don't have purchase orders. Well, that's norm. I mean, that's not atypical. This happens all the time. So every company they're on a unique journey, and it just happens to be where they are today. So the idea is to get the information you need and to be able to grow. But having good information is the key. The winners into the future will have good information. One of the mantras of our software is to have real-time information to make better and faster decisions. So that better and faster decisions constantly comes up with our customers and our software.
Since you're talking about a better, faster solution that helps provide those analytics and data points, how is Pulse Dashboard different than other reporting products?
Well, the big thing is that all the reports have been field proven years ago. This is not a install it and start programming and start testing. This has all been field proven over the past 12 years, and that allows us the implementation time for the software is 2 hours. So for example, if you order it in the morning, you can literally have it available with your data at your desktop in the afternoon. So the idea being that we have a product that not only implements very, very fast, but there's no programming that has to go on. There's no testing. And in addition to that, you don't have to invent how do you want to analyze things. That has all come before you with other people who have been part of our focus groups or the feedback that we get to constantly improve our product. So we have a product that is, hitting the track running with information that can help you immediately.
Well, what if somebody says, well, I use Power BI in our company. So is there a way you can work with Power BI?
What we can do is, if somebody has a Power BI program, we can take the SQL code out of that and incorporate that within our dashboard. One of the other interesting facts of when we were back in the Crystal days, and Crystal is just like SSRS, it's just like Power BI. You develop these reports for Mary. Mary leaves the company. Mary's reports are all gone. Nobody can find them. Then 6 months later, somebody will call up and say, well, we used to have this report, but it disappeared when Mary left. So the idea of dashboard is all of the reporting, it all fits into one set of menus, one set of screens. So the idea being that, and Power BI is also another do-it-yourself product. So
yeah,
you're either hiring or expected to not only learn the product, but learn the database files, the tables, and then the individual data fields within those tables, and then how the different tables interact with each other, this concept called linking. All of that goes away with dashboard.
mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're right, like buying something, reporting software, typically it's a blank sheet of paper, right? There's no expertise in manufacturing and supply chain built in. You have to know the tables, you have to go in and build the dashboards and the operating reports. This software sounds like it's just ready to go out of the box.
Exactly.
Day one.
Yep. And it's been field proven. We have over 2,000 end users seats using the software. So we're constantly getting, and we have dedicated support desks. So we offer unlimited phone support, unlimited questions, unlimited training, unlimited retraining. And the idea being that over time, we're getting this constant feedback from customers, and we're constantly improving those analysis reports that then everybody into the future can benefit from.
What if users want to create another report or modify a report? How easy is that to do?
Well, the software was developed with a tremendous amount of flexibility. So a lot of times what will happen, there's two kinds of reports. They'll say, well, this report you already have is fine, but I want to add, a certain number, some additional data fields. So typically can do that if it's simple. We provide that as part of our support. If they have a brand new report of something that is unique to their industry or unique to their company, we have what we call a designer module that uses SQL queries. It's what we call our query analyzer module. And we can develop a custom report that reads the GP database. Maybe they have a quality system that is not GP. We can also read that. So we can read any kind of SQL database or Access database. So working with them, we can develop these unique reports that are not part of our current software.
But if they just want to change something on the report, like add a column, maybe they want to move something around on the report, how difficult?
That's where we're teaching them how to fish. We show them how it's what we call our one-click report writer or our column chooser. So for example, if you have a report of inventory status and you want to add a new field, we have a button that you press, and it then displays all of the data fields that are available to you that have anything to do with that product, using it, selling it, procuring it, and then you just choose the additional data fields that you want to add. One big benefit of one design that customers really like is that we renamed all the data fields in the GP database to what we call business English. So it doesn't say ... this or this _ this or A01, none of that, all that stuff goes away, and you see, well, I want to add the the product class, or I want to add the lead time, or I want to add the promise date, or I want to add, so it's all business English. And for some people that want to change the titles due to the uniqueness of their industry, you can even change the column headings.
Nice. So, it sounds like it's pretty easy to personalize it for yourself and even customize it for your own business needs. So
Very, very much so. Yeah, we use it internally. We have a CRM system that is SQL based that we link to. So yeah, we use it internally extensively. And then some of what we do internally, sometimes the customers want that as well.
they're like, yes, please. Just kind of changing gears. So, really kind of any thoughts or observations about working with partners in the channel, especially the Dynamics channel, maybe the Acumatica channel coming up. What other improvements are you seeing that people are using the dashboards and operating reports to help improve their operations?
What we're seeing now is that the supply chain issues are affecting every company a little bit differently. Some people can get the product, but they can only get half of what they really want. What we're seeing relative to the Microsoft channel is that the partners are being asked to do something a little bit differently. In the past, they were acting a lot of times in a reactive mode, or they were acting proactively to handle certain things. Now, what customers are expecting of their VAR, they're expecting their VAR or their reseller to be presenting to them as a businessman, not a technical person. They were expecting them to present third-party products, ISV products that can help their company grow, that can help their company get more information. So the customers are expecting, this is changing, customers are expecting their business partner to be more and more business oriented. It's a norm, they expect them to be technical oriented. That comes with it, there's no doubt of that, but they're expecting them to be business people who can provide supply chain solutions or operational improvements. So the next big wave will be maximizing the operational efficiency. There's a concept called lean office, which is becoming more and more popular, which will be taking the lean concepts from the factory floor and the warehouse and moving them into the office.
Any perspective you have to share about manufacturing and distribution customers trying to improve their operational efficiency?
No, I think that the concept of having better real-time information to make better and faster decisions, that will go on really forever. That's a concept that's going to go on forever. React to changes that are going on in the industry, changes that are going on in the world, changes that are going on within their company. There's a tremendous amount of new startups that are out there, and there's also a tremendous amount of individuals who are retiring, who are selling their company or merging it with another company, and that's creating a lot of need for this being ready. This one concept that I talked about before, a customer of ours that due to an acquisition, their sales doubled one day, and they were not ready.
Yeah. Well, is there any one trend that you're seeing in the space that is driving customers or partners to talk to you?
I think we have an out-of-the-box product that will help their customers tremendously with just having better and real-time information. Mm-hmm. That I think is what will attract and has been attracting the VARs to our product. The Dynamics Connection company, your company, Carol, really has been helpful because there are so many VARs and there are so many ISVs, and there are so many GP customers, and those GP customers are undergoing a transition as well. Microsoft is wanting them to drop their platform and move to the cloud. So there's just a lot of uncertainty, a lot of change that's going on in the marketplace, and the VARs are expected to be helping their customers from a business standpoint and helping them grow.
And so many, especially on the GP customers that are, maybe looking to the future, but right now aren't planning to move or migrate to another ERP, so they're looking to increase their, and maximize their systems that they already have, right? They've already invested in it, it works well. They just need to get those little granite details that they need to be able to deal with the changing world, like you talked about earlier, as well as, increase and grow.
Exactly. The manufacturers and distributors that we work with, for the most part, they're not concerned with being on the latest version of the software. They're not concerned with being leading edge. They could care less whether they're on Windows 10 or Windows 11. What they want is information. And they have machinery in the plant as a manufacturer that might be 20, 30, 50 years old. So the concept of upgrading the software every 6 months or upgrading the software even once a year, they don't buy into that. They have a solution like a machine, and it works and they want to hang with it, and they'll keep that forever. And the same thing is applying to software. So if they're happy with GP and they're embracing the Pulse dashboard software, they'll have a solution that will satisfy them for years into the future. I think what I'd like to leave as a final thought, if you are a manufacturer, if you are a distributor, if you are looking for information, more real-time information to help you make better and faster decisions, if you have supply chain issues that you need better tools for, if your users are asking for the ability to get to their data themselves, to be able to change their reports, then I think that dashboard is a very viable option that you want to investigate, especially where within a 2-hour window you can have the software up and running with your data and starting to take advantage of it, not days or weeks in startup. So thank you.
So thank you, Mike, for joining us today on ISV Talks. And here's your contact information. So we also have Bart. So do you want to kind of tell who Bart is?
Bart is our operations manager, and he is heading up marketing and distribution of our product into the GP marketplace.
Okay, so reach out to Bart or Mike if you're curious to hear or see more of Pulse Dashboard. So thank you, Mike, so much for coming and sharing your thoughts today.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Thanks for allowing us to be here. It was wonderful to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.